to meet you too. No, she's gone. She left Big East. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yesterday. No, usually no. Okay. Okay. Hmm? Okay. Joining us from Creighton, head coach Jim Flannery. We'll begin with an opening statement. Coach?
Yeah, congrats to Georgetown. They were clearly the better team today. I thought what they did on the glass in the first half put them in a position to win the game, and then they came out in the third quarter and punched us again. And you know, I thought some of our younger kids, you know, I was frustrated obviously with some of our starters, and I thought some of our younger kids came in and really did a great job, got us back in the game with a position to maybe, you know, fight back, but just made too many mistakes, and you know, they defended us really well. We just couldn't get into any offensive rhythm, but I didn't think we did a good enough job sharing the ball with our core kids, so went with that other group, and I thought they did a great job of moving the ball and sharing the ball. And so I think it's a good lesson for us. You know, we've had a great year, 25-5, and we're going to be playing again. But you know, I don't. Losses aren't bad things if you take things from them and use them as fuel to get better.
Questions for Coach? Brad?
Hi, Coach. Brad Lake, WNBA Swish. Could you please tell us what you told the team in the locker room, and what are the things that you hope they will take away from this Big East tournament? Sure.
I said I didn't think we played with an edge today, and I think that we're going to have that going forward. I thought there was just a touch of complacency. We have great kids; they work hard, but I just thought there was I just didn't think we worked quite hard enough. I said we have to have an edge. If you watch UConn play live, you see that edge. You see how hard they play and how well they communicate, and I didn't think we had that. And then I thought, you know, when you play a good team like Georgetown and they get confident and play from the lead, I thought we struggled to kind of get out of that. So, but like I said, everything's fine if we learn and be just a little bit more mindful of how competitive we're going to need to be in practice. I mean, that group that I put in the third quarter, they do some really good things in practice. So I'm happy for them, and I think it's great that I now feel like I can put them in a pressure situation. I think that gives us something out of a disappointing day.
Corey in the back row.
Corey John Creightonian.
I like your outfit, Corey.
Thanks, Coach. You said all year that you trust Michaela and Britt offensively, but you needed them to take a step defensively. Yeah. They held Georgetown in that long stretch in the third quarter to 4 minutes. Did you see them take that step today?
Yeah, I think I've seen it in practice, and I felt like, I think there's just a different mindset when you haven't gotten to play a lot and you get an opportunity to play. Like, there's a hunger there, and I'm not saying our seniors don't have that, but I think there can be a different level of hunger. You know, it's okay, we're playing back-to-back. We haven't played back-to-back all year except one time over Thanksgiving, so there's this urge to kind of give in to, I'm a little tired. Well, Georgetown's playing their third game in 3 days, so I felt like we kind of had that mindset. And but yeah, I'm pleased with what they've done. I think they've improved, and you know, in some ways it's been hard to get them on the court because of the experience we have. But I think today's a good reminder to me that I can trust them, and I think it's a good reminder to our starting group that, you know, that they're not in a position where they can't be replaced at times, probably in a much greater volume than we've probably done all year.
Pat
Eaton-Robb from the Associated Press. Coach, you kind of mentioned a little bit, but can you explain the thought process behind doing hockey line substitutions with one group, putting them all in together as opposed to substituting out here and there?
Well, it started out just I was frustrated with that starting group. I mean, it was 36-23. I think it was 26-23 at half, right? And it's 36-23. It's 10-0 in that third quarter, and I felt like we were playing a little selfishly off. We don't have a selfish group, but I felt like, you know, there's times where a lot of teams play selfishly for X amount of time. I felt like we didn't do the things that we talked about at halftime. And our activity level defensively was under what I had thought. So I said, I'm going to put all these guys in because I've done that before. I'm a little bit of a risk taker from that standpoint because I do think sometimes you don't have, sometimes, you know, those kids need to be reminded of how hard you have to play. It's easy to kind of get into, oh, I'm a good player, but part of being a good player is playing really, really hard. And then it just kind of evolved from there. I wasn't, but you know, then in the fourth quarter I did some offense for defense. I mean, certainly down the stretch, but I just wanted them to play at a higher level. And we were down, you know, 10-ish in a low-scoring game where it was really hard to score. So I felt like just having fresh people would help our ball movement, which I thought it did. But you know, we missed some shots that we needed to convert, and I thought, you know, a lot of times our passes were a little bit too late on cuts. But I thought what Creighton basketball is supposed to look like was much better that last quarter and a half. But I wouldn't say I'll probably do it exactly the same way again. But I thought we needed a jump start.
Doug?
Hey, Coach. Doug
Yeah.
Feinberg,
Hey,
DP.
Doug.
Georgetown's not been very good the last couple of years. They've struggled. Coaching changes and such. They obviously went through a tough situation before the season started.
Yeah.
Are you impressed with what they've done this year and be able to get to the final for the first time in school history?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Darnell and his staff have done a great job. I mean, you know, Grace Ann and Kelsey they're easy to admire. I mean, I got to talk to them at Media Day right after Tasha passed, and they're easy to cheer for when you're even today, you know. I mean, I hurt for our kids, and I'm disappointed in our effort, but I feel good for them because they've hung in there and they've been great ambassadors of the Georgetown program. And you know, I think, you know, sometimes tragedy can galvanize a unit, and I feel like they've done a good job of getting their kids to buy into that. I do think they've got good talent too, like their size and their ability to rebound the ball, and then obviously, you know, Ransom's been a really good player in our league, and you know, Cowan's a great addition to that for them, and Bembry's been in the league 12 years, so they've got experience too on top of that.
Question right here.
Hey, Coach. Azar Johnson from NBA Online.
Yeah.
You played Georgetown before this season. The way it seemed on the court, it got real physical.
Yeah.
It was a real physical match. And anytime you're playing a team in your conference, it's going to be a physical play. The type of physicality you saw on the court today, was that expected? Were you not surprised, or did you think it was up another level because of the championship that was at risk?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty high. I mean, again, we only played them once this year, which is odd. We played every team twice except Georgetown and Providence, so had a little less to fall back on. Plus, it's a new staff, so you're kind of guessing a little bit. But I knew they'd be physical. It's just odd. The first game we played them, it was 77-72, and we had 43 points at half. You know, so, and you know, what we finished with today, 46. So way different game. I mean, way different game. So I thought they're, you know, for the limited prep that they had and the fact that they didn't get off the court till 11:30 last night, I mean, they played great. They played with they're deeper than a lot of teams in our league. I think that helps. I mean, I think that, and they played from the lead. But, yeah, it was physical. I mean, the 9-0 boards in the first half and 9 second chance points were big. Because I said, you know, I told the team at halftime it was, in football terms, it was, you know, their time of possession was probably 1.5 times ours because they'd shoot it, miss it, get it back, make us have to guard, you know, but they had the ball a lot longer. So, I mean, it looked like 23 points. We weren't very good on offense, but part of it was we didn't have enough possessions because of their offensive rebounding.
Any other questions?
Coach, it felt like you guys were really struggling to find Emma offensively. What went wrong that you weren't able to get the ball into her? Only 5 field goal attempts.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we just, she's had a great year. I just think sometimes, kids get a little mental, and I think she came off a game where she didn't put it in the basket, and she had a basket disallowed early, and I don't know if she got shy about that, but she's fought foul trouble the last 2 games, and I think that just changes a young person's mindset sometimes. But they were attentive to her. I thought they did a good job, a really good job on her. But she'll be fine. I mean, she's had a great year, so that's just part of basketball. Is you don't have it every night.
Any other questions? Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
Boston.
Ladies, how you doing? Congrats.
Thank you so much. Okay, I need to check this.
He had to get his hood. He had to get his needed his hoodie, right? Yeah, all right. I got you. I know.
Thank you so much.
Joining us from Georgetown, which will make its first Big East Championship game appearance, head coach Darnell Haney, student athletes Kelsey Ransom and Grace Ann Bennett. We'll begin with an opening statement from Coach, and then we'll go to questions for the student athletes, followed by Coach. Coach?
Hey guys, first off, to God be the glory for all of this. I mean, to be able to come out here, to be ranked, to be, seeded sixth, to come out here and play in this championship game, that's nothing but God. And I appreciate everything he's done for us. He's done for these young women, man, and I'm just so excited and happy for them because they work so darn hard, man. They work their tails off every single day. And I'm proud of them. I'm proud of our staff. Just shout out to our administration, Lee Reed, Kelly Myers. They've just done a great job of supporting us and supporting this program. So I'm excited about the opportunity to play in the Big East Championship game. First time ever.
Questions for the student athletes? Doug?
Doug Feinberg, DAP. Kelsey, with all you guys have been through this year, and Georgetown's not had much success before this, what does it mean to be playing for the first time in the Big East Championship game tomorrow night?
I mean, like, there's just never been here before, so I mean, we're excited about it, but this is something we've been preparing for and something that has been in our aspirations, and we've been wanting to make it a reality. So even though it's unprecedented, it's something we've been, looking forward to and preparing for, and it's been a very attainable reality for us since the preseason. So.
Corey?
Corey Drummond with the Craytonian. You two are now one game away from the NCAA tournament. How does that feel, knowing that if you win tomorrow, you're in?
It's really exciting, but like Kelsey said, we've had this in the forefront of our minds. Setting the tone for each practice is our shared goal of wanting to be in the tournament. So we've been envisioning this for months, and we're really excited for the opportunity to make it a reality.
Brad?
Hi, ladies. Brad Lake, WNBA Swish. Could you tell us what you ladies were telling each other during the game in the huddles to just keep your focus on the game until the very end?
Go ahead.
We were repeating to each other, that we were going to win this game because we were the toughest and tightest team in that gym. We were the hungriest team, and that we prepared for this, and to stick to our principles, play Georgetown defense, and just get stops. Like, that's things that we can control and things that we've controlled the entire season, and that's just that's what's gotten us this far. So we were just encouraging each other, getting on each other, expecting better things for each other for the last minute, playing through the buzzer. But it was just five on the floor, but everyone on the bench, top to bottom, was locked in, focused on the goal.
I would add that I felt like our huddles were extremely present and in the moment. We know that Creighton is a very good team, and we needed to be locked in on our scout and on our defensive principles to get the job done. So it was every play, what just happened, what do we need to correct, someone's taking accountability if they missed something. We're encouraging each other when it went well, and reminding each other, like Kelsey said, to be tough and tight and on the boards.
Hey, ladies. Here's Art Johnson from NBA Online. One of the questions I wanted to ask, because you made a statement about this was the goal during preseason. What did you guys say to each other before the season started that got you here where you're at now? What was one of the goals?
Well, I think that, I mean, everyone on our team, like, we've never been here, but we have a staff who are winning. Our staff has been around winning. They're involved in winning, playing, coaching, friends with, like, they've just been around winning people. So we bought into what they were telling us and trusted them to know they knew what they were talking about. So it was really from them instilling winning principles, a winning mentality, winning attitude. And, you know, thank God that 13 of us decided to buy into that and give up ourselves for the sake of the team.
At the start of each of our practices, well, at the start of one of the practices, Coach Haney pointed out that every single person on the staff had either competed in an NCAA tournament and or been a pro. So we were surrounded by people who knew how to get us to this point, and when the goal was set that we wanted to be a tournament team, and that's the language that we were using, was to get to the tournament, it was clear that we could lean on the expertise around us that was supporting us because they all had those experiences before.
Pat.
Pat Eaton from the Associated Press. Ladies, if I could just take you back to the death of Coach Butts and what you guys were thinking at that point in terms of what that was going to mean for your season, and then if you could just discuss what Coach Haney has meant to you guys in terms of getting you here.
Sure. That was a really shocking and difficult experience and has continued to be because of the nature of grief. But what I know is true is how important and impactful Coach Tasha was for us in the spring and in our fall practices, and how clear it was that our next step was just to get back in the gym and work as hard as we could in her honor, because it's how she started the program, the foundation that she set, and it became our responsibility to do it moving forward and do it out of love for her, for each other, and love and respect for the game. And that was from Coach Haney's direction. He's been incredible. I don't know how he handled the situation the way that he did. I have nothing but just respect and gratitude for how he's led our program in a situation like that, and to get where we are is really amazing. So he's been tremendous.
I mean, taking a group of women who really don't know what direction to look in when that happens, and knowing that it could go really bad really fast, and being able to get us together and put us on a path that is continuing to be difficult and hard and tiring, but so rewarding has just been the path we've taken over the past few months. So.
Corey.
Grace Ann, you combined with a couple of your teammates held Morantzik scoreless from the field today. How did you lock her down the way you did, not letting her score a single shot?
That was totally a group effort, and it comes a lot of the time with, like I said, owning the boards and making sure they don't get second chance shots. Emma's a great player, so whoever was guarding her at the time, because we were switching some stuff, just did a great job in that first shot attempt, and we controlled the glass pretty well. So total team effort.
Any other questions for the student athletes? Ladies, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck
Great
tomorrow
job,
night.
ladies. Great job. Y'all get him a
Thank you all.
hand. Great job.
See ya, Coach.
Thank you. See ya.
Questions for Coach? Brad.
Hey, Coach Brad Lake here.
Good to see you again, Brad.
good to see
I've
you.
seen you 3 days in a row.
Part of your big thing this evening was your defense. You had 3 blocks and a few steals, and then you were able to grab all the rebounds that you needed to. How did you limit their offense?
Well, first off, like our young women talked about, Creighton is a tremendous team, high-powered offense. They do some things that can take you out of your principles, like traditional principles defensively, and that's what they're trying to do. We just had a group of young women that locked in on the game plan, and it was a quick turnaround because I didn't get out of here until midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning last night, and I got a chance to look at some film. We looked at the things that we struggled with and the things that we did well in game 1 in our game against them at our place, and then we watched them play. I watched them play Seton Hall yesterday. And just credit to Mariah Moore. She had been prepping for Creighton the whole time. It was her scout during the season, and she was prepping for that as we were leading up to this. But one of the things that we did a great job of is pressuring the basketball. We wanted to make sure we pressured the basketball so that they didn't get good looks at the basket. They didn't get good looks at passes. A lot of times, like teams worry about them shooting, and we were worried about them passing. We didn't want them to pass it because if they could look to pass it, what they're doing is tough to guard, right? So we had to make sure we took away some of those passes and then challenge them. They got off too many threes. I wanted to limit them to under 20 threes getting off. But another thing, even credit to our team, we just made them work for everything. And then in this tournament, in a tournament style, and in a tournament style like this, you know, and they just played last night, and then they had played maybe Sunday, right? So, you know, you played 30 games in the season, those legs gonna wear on you, right? And you may not be able to hit those same shots you would when you're fresh. So we wanted to make sure we made them work, and then in the fourth quarter, some of them shots won't fall. We did a decent job keeping them off the free throw line because they're a tremendous free throw shooting team, right? So just that third and fourth quarter, we kind of got undisciplined a little bit and got some fouls, but proud of our group for doing that, man. We just held the fort, played Georgetown defense, and like I said before, man, and I say it all the time, as long as I'm the coach at Georgetown, Chick-fil-A sells chicken, right? Starbucks sells coffee, and Georgetown plays defense.
Doug? No? Oh, sorry.
Okay. Oh no. Hey, Coach. I was gonna ask you, what is the status on King? Scott King. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know the status yet. She's good. I don't know what it is, what's going on yet. When she fell, I had to run out to the floor because she was pretty scared, and I'm glad her mom was here to be able to be there with her. But we would have been there through and through. Brianna Scott is a tough individual, tough kid. She's gonna be just fine. She'll be just fine.
Piggyback off that, I was talking to the Creighton coach when I asked him earlier. Now you guys played him before, and anytime you play somebody in the conference, it's going to be a tough match. Were you surprised about the physicality? Because it got real physical out there at one point. It got really physical.
Yeah, we're a physical team. We're a physical team. That's who we are. That's what we do. We're gonna try to make you. We're gonna try to irritate you. You know that gnat. You know that gnat that's always around, that's flying around your ear, always there. That pest. What we want to do. We don't want to make it easy on you, and they understand they're getting ready for tournament play as well. So they're trying to win. So if they're gonna match the physicality, and I know that their coach told them they need to make sure that they're physical with us because we're gonna be physical with them. Again, Creighton is a great team. They got a great coach, and we're just excited and elated, and we feel blessed that we were able to get the win today.
Hey, Coach, Doug Feinberg, DAP. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you.
I remember we were chatting on Big East Media Day, and you said you guys would be all right, and you're more than all right.
Yeah.
My question is, I just found out, I guess it was, today is would have been Tasha's birthday,
March 9th.
March 10th.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, apparently March 10th, 1982 is her birthday.
Oh my gosh.
Think she's smiling down on you guys today after getting one of the biggest wins in program history?
So, a little story. When Tasha got this job, I was trying to get my former assistant, the assistant coach job here. I wasn't trying. I'm a Florida boy, man. I don't want this. I don't like this cold, man. It get too cold in D.C. And she talked to my assistant, and she felt like it wasn't going to work. So 2 weeks later, she calls me back, and I look at the phone. I'm like, okay, you want to talk to my assistant again, huh? and I was gonna probably do something in Florida, take an assistant job down there, one of the schools there. And she was like, "No, I don't wanna. I don't wanna go that route with the assistant. But would you be interested in coming to help me?" That woman put together a tremendous group of people that was what was needed for these young women, right? With Coach Tasha's death, it was hard hitting on them, but our young women had been through a lot before Coach Tasha even got there. They had been through a whole lot. And I'm not talking about basketball. There's been some death. There's been some grief. There's been a ton of things. They've been through a whole lot. And when I set foot on this campus, right, the love Tasha showed me and my family, the opportunity to come here and just help her out, I'm incredibly indebted to Coach Tasha because she gave me a shot. Incredibly indebted. She gave me a shot. She gave me an opportunity to be who I was. I didn't have to do anything else. I was able to be who I was. And it's just tremendous that we were able to do this on her birthday, man. You know, like being a head coach, I don't know what day it is. What's today? Like, I don't know what the date is. I don't know what day it is. All right? We just know we're playing in the championship game tomorrow, whatever tomorrow is, right? She just was a loving, tough-minded, high-spirited woman with a great family. And I'm just so proud of these young women for honoring her the way they do.
T.
Thanks, Coach. Congrats on the win today.
Thank you.
So I'm T. Baker with the Next. One thing I wanted to ask you about is, you've been a head coach before. You're a head coach in the Big East now. I'm just curious kind of how you would characterize the style of play in the Big East and what you've learned about yourself as a head coach in this conference.
So I had this conversation with somebody before. The Big East has some great basketball coaches in it, right? And one thing about me, I'm a forever learner, right? I'm always learning. I can go to an elementary school game or a travel ball game or AAU basketball game, and I may be recruiting a kid at a high school game, and I see something that a coach does. It may be X and O, it may be something how they deal with a player, how they deal with a situation. And a lot of times you can see, how we get those books when we're out recruiting and we go, you can look in my book and I have like actions that they run in. So I'm a forever learner. But it used to be called the Atlantic Sun, but now it's the A-Sun Conference. The conference that I was in has some of the best coaches in the country. I learned a lot. Carl Smesko at Florida Gulf Coast kind of mirrors Creighton. You got Lynn Bria, that's at Stetson, who does a tremendous job, not with a lesser level of talent, right? Some great coaches in here, but it's some great coaches down there. A lot of times you got to look at coaches not for what they, not for like sometimes you got to look at coaches not for the results that they have, but you got to look at what they're doing with what they have. I was a high school coach, right? We had some kids couldn't dribble, right? I don't get a chance, as a high school coach, you don't get a chance to pick your kids. Those are the kids that go to school there, right? Me being a college coach, and I get an opportunity to pick my kids. Oh, It's amazing, right? So you got to be able to recruit. But one of the biggest things is if you have kids that have a will, and this is what I learned as a high school coach. If you have kids that have a will and that listen and are willing to do whatever it takes for the collective of the group, there's no limit to what you can do as a program. Now, you need talent, no question. You need talent, and we have that. But a lot of these teams in the Big East have talent, right? We just have to make sure that we have something that everybody else don't have, and that's our will, I feel. I feel that's our fight. I mean, again, another mantra, you got to be an outside dog to play for us. And everybody knows that. You got to be okay with getting your hands a little dirty. You got to be okay with diving on the floor for a loose ball like Brianna Scott did. You got to be okay with taking a charge like Kelsey Ransom did. You got to be okay with, if shots not falling, figuring out another way and being mentally tough to get through things that other teams aren't able and willing to get through. You'll be just fine.
Any other question for Coach? Coach, thank you.
Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow.